Are you planning to travel in 2026? If you're over 60, especially over 65, there are a few critical passport and travel rule updates you need to know before you book anything. Because in 2026, more travelers are getting denied boarding, delayed, or turned away. Not because they did anything illegal, but because they missed a simple requirement like passport validity, ID rules, or updated entry systems. So in this video, I'm going to break down what's changing, what seniors need to double-check, and how to avoid the most common mistakes that can ruin your trip. And stay until the end because I'll give you a simple senior travel checklist you can screenshot. First, let's talk about domestic flights inside the United States because this is catching a lot of seniors off guard. Real ID requirements are now being enforced more strictly. If you fly within the United States, your driver's license needs to be Real ID compliant for airport security. Now here's the problem. A lot of seniors have a driver's license that is valid for driving, but it may not qualify for airport screening if it's not Real ID. So how do you know if your license is Real ID compliant? Look at the top corner of your driver's license. If you see a star, usually a gold or black star, you're typically good. If you don't have a star, don't panic. You can still fly, but you'll need an alternative acceptable form of identification. And for most seniors, the easiest option is simply bringing your passport. My recommendation is this. If you travel even a few times a year, keep your passport ready for domestic flights until you upgrade your license. It prevents last-minute surprises, and it makes airport travel much smoother. Now, let's talk about the number one reason seniors get denied boarding for international trips. And it's not what most people think. A lot of travelers assume, if my passport is not expired, I'm fine. But many countries do not follow that rule. Many countries require your passport to be valid for at least 6 months beyond your arrival date. Some calculate it differently, and some require 3 months beyond your departure date, especially in parts of Europe. Airlines enforce these rules strictly. And the reason is simple. If they let you board and you're denied entry at your destination, the airline is responsible for flying you back. So they check carefully, and they will deny you before you even get on the plane. Let me give you an example. Say you're going on a 2-week cruise in March. Your passport expires in August. You might think, I have 5 months left. That's plenty. But if your destination requires 6 months, you could be denied boarding right at the airport. And this happens every single day. So here's the safest senior rule. If your passport expires within the next 12 months, start the renewal process now. Because processing times can vary, mailing time adds extra days, and waiting until the last minute is one of the most common mistakes seniors make. And here's another issue people don't think about. Some destinations require blank passport pages. So even if your passport is valid, if it's full of stamps, you may still run into problems. If you're planning international travel, flip through your passport and make sure you have enough blank pages. Now, if you're renewing your passport in 2026, I want to give you a few practical tips that can save you stress. First, don't wait until you've already booked the trip. Renew first, book later. Second, if you need your passport quickly, you may be able to request expedited service, but that still takes time, so the safest strategy is always to renew early. Now, another important detail for seniors, make sure your name matches your travel documents. If your airline ticket and passport have different names, or if your name changed after marriage or divorce, that can cause delays at check-in. So before you travel, double-check that your ticket name matches your passport exactly. Now, if Europe is on your travel list in 2026, pay close attention because there are new entry systems being rolled out that may affect how you enter. One system is designed to replace traditional passport stamping with biometric screening. That means instead of just getting a stamp, you may go through facial scanning and fingerprints. The purpose is to track entry and exit more accurately. Now, what does this mean for you as a senior traveler? It means you should expect longer lines at some airports, especially during early rollout. So if you're connecting flights, build extra time. Do not book tight connections. Another system you may hear about is an online travel authorization for many European countries. It's similar to the ESTA system travelers use to enter the United States. Once it becomes required, travelers will need to complete a short online application before departure. My advice is simple. If you're traveling to Europe, check official government travel websites ahead of time and apply early once authorization becomes necessary. Do not wait until the day before your flight. Now let's talk about something many seniors don't realize until it's too late: medical coverage abroad. U.S. Medicare generally does not cover medical costs outside the United States. So if you have a medical emergency overseas, whether it's food poisoning, a fall, or something serious, you may be paying out of pocket unless you have additional coverage. This is why travel medical insurance is one of the smartest purchases seniors can make. Many policies cover emergency treatment, hospital stays, and sometimes emergency medical evacuation. And evacuation alone can cost tens of thousands of dollars. If you have a Medicare Advantage plan, you might have limited international coverage, but never assume. Call your insurance provider before traveling and ask directly. And if you're going on a cruise, keep in mind that medical care on board can be expensive too, so travel insurance is still worth considering. Now let's talk about prescriptions, because this is extremely important for seniors. If you take medication, you need to prepare properly. Bring enough medication for your entire trip, plus a few extra days in case your return is delayed. Keep your medications in their original labeled containers. Do not dump them into a random pill bottle. Carry a printed list of your medications and dosages, and if possible, carry copies of your prescriptions. Also, keep your medication in your carry-on bag. Never put important medication in checked luggage. Checked bags get delayed more often than people realize. Now here's a free service that most seniors don't know about, but it can help you in emergencies. It's called STEP, the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. When you enroll in STEP before your trip, you register your travel plans with the U.S. Embassy in your destination country. So if there's a natural disaster, political unrest, or an emergency, the embassy can contact you with safety information. It also helps your family reach you if there's an emergency back home. Enrollment is free, it takes about 5 minutes, and it's one of the smartest safety steps you can take. Now here's another tip that takes 15 minutes but can save you days of stress. Make copies of your passport information page. Keep one copy at home with a trusted person. Keep another copy separate from your actual passport in your luggage, and keep a photo on your phone. Do the same for your driver's license, your travel insurance, your credit cards, and your itinerary. Also, fill out the emergency contact page in your passport, and save the contact information for the U.S. Embassy or consulate in the countries you're visiting. Now let's talk about a financial mistake that ruins trips every year: not telling your bank you're traveling. Banks have fraud detection systems that may freeze your card if they see foreign charges. Imagine being in Rome or Paris, and suddenly your card stops working. So before you travel, call your bank and credit card companies. Tell them where you're going and the dates you'll be traveling. Also, bring at least 2 payment methods. If one card stops working, you have a backup. And keep a small amount of emergency cash. Now, if you have mobility challenges, or you use a cane, walker, or wheelchair, you need to plan ahead. Many international destinations have different accessibility standards than the United States. Historic areas in Europe often have cobblestone streets, stairs, and buildings without elevators. So before you book, contact your hotel directly. Don't rely only on booking website descriptions. And if you need airport assistance, call your airline at least 48 hours before your flight. They can arrange wheelchair support, priority boarding, and help with luggage. Now let's recap the most important steps, and this is your senior checklist. If you fly domestically, make sure you have real ID or bring your passport. Check your passport expiration date right now. If it expires within 12 months, renew early. If you're traveling to Europe, prepare for new entry systems and check requirements before you fly. Medicare generally doesn't cover you abroad. Consider travel medical insurance. Enroll in STEP and make document copies for safety. The bottom line is this: travel in 2026 requires more preparation, especially for seniors. But if you follow this checklist, you'll avoid the most common reasons travelers get denied, and you can focus on enjoying your trip. If you found this helpful, share it with another senior traveler, and safe travels.